Okay, here we go with part 3. This one goes to chaos. And chaos, good topic, in fact a great topic. Don't get overly technical in what you're talking about. Watch the sniffles out loud. Make sure that you have good eye contact when you start. Don't start down here when you're starting a speech. Hello, today I'm going to be talking to you about, and then look up. You want to start firm. Hi, today I want to talk to you about. Right into their eyes. Look right at me. Never start down. Always start on the focus on the audience. In fact, in speaking situations, they'll often tell you when you get to the lectern or the podium, take a deep breath, look out at your audience, fix them in the eye, and start. Okay? Work on flow, smooth it out. Decent eye contact once you got through that opening part. Good info at the end with BYO, and make sure that when you start to talk about something like BYO, that we know what it is and how it's going to be of any assistance to anyone else. You have a lot of unfamiliar terms, and sometimes when you do that in a speech, you either want to spell it or you want to say it a couple of times. So when you talk about mash tune, I have no idea. And you may want to say, I'm thinking M-A-S-H-T-U-N-E. I have no idea what that is or how it works, and I don't have the benefit of your speech outline to look it up. So make sure when you're using terms like mash tune and wart and hops, I mean, we've all heard of barley and hops. I have no idea what it is. It's also a good idea in a speech when you're doing any kind of a process speech, if you could hold up a sprig of hops or a thing of barley or a picture or anything like that to help us understand what it is. And then when you talk about something like that, where do you get hops and supplies and things like that? Where do you get the things you need? So that you got me interested, but now, you know, do I have to contact my local syndicate? Where do I go to get the supplies? Spell out some of those words. We talked about that. You could mention, you don't have to go into another speech, but you could mention that a similar process is used to make root beer or pop, and you don't have to go into detail. You just say, hey, if you don't want to make beer, then this is something else you can do with all of this. And you're mentioning them as alternatives. Overall, good topic, good length. Again, don't get too technical. Keep it conversational. Moving on to Rambler. We have a nice conversational tone, a good summary. Watch the wrinkles in the face when you're talking. Don't get so serious when you do that, you know, it's just like relax a little bit and talk to me. When you relax your forehead, when you start to get conversational, it's a lot more, it means more. So, you know, I've written down, it's shot too tight in terms of the distance. Loosen up a little bit on the shot. Don't get overly technical. Don't drop endings of words or sentences. Rehearse so you know the length of your speeches. This was a very complicated and very technical topic, and you want to work on making that as easy as possible. You have ums and ahs. We have a term like Anya instead of on you. Buyin', financin', signin', and gonna. Boy, are those Hoosierisms. We have endings to those words. Going, buying, financing, signing. Also, watch scratch in the face when you're talking. You had too much camera movement. The camera was actually seemingly bouncing while you were talking. And it ran too long. By a long shot, it ran too long. You need to know that. You need to fix it and go from there. Kirby. Interesting. A lot of improvement from last time. Good conversation. The audience was way too small. You can't do it. Watch the use of and. There was no outline submitted. And actually like this speech because you were real in the speech and you didn't try to be someone you weren't. You want to be a little bit more prepared. You don't want to like have to pound the bottom of the can to get the stuff out. You want to have it in a bowl and just dump it in. You were really interested in one thing. You boil the butter for 2 minutes. Where I'm from, if you boil butter for 2 minutes, it's called burning. But, hey, I don't know. Maybe you used the wrong term. It was interesting, but you got other things to fix. You got to have the audience size. You got to do that kind of stuff. All right. Now, that means that I have a lot of people I don't have speeches from. Can't do anything about that. Remember, you cannot pass this class if you do not do all of the speeches. Right now, we've got some people that haven't done either speech. I don't know what to say to you folks. You have already failed the class. You're not making any attempt to get through to me. So I don't know. Do not, as I have said, do not send me any messages in Blackboard. Do all communication with me through my IVTech email address. That includes sending me the addresses to your YouTube. Do not post information in the messages section in the communication at all. You will, however, continue to post on the discussion board. You cannot put a symbol in any kind of an attachment. We've covered that. Some of you are still doing it. I cannot open those. If I can't open them, you're not going to be marked as present. If you have the magic number of attendance problems, it will also affect your grade. So some of you are in double jeopardy. You haven't attended, and you're not turning in speeches, and guess what? You also then, when you turn in the speech, have to meet all the requirements of the speech. Those are the time requirements and the audience requirements. If you don't meet those, you will also then not do well in this class. Let me end on a positive note. The speeches overall this time were very good. A couple of them were just pure outstanding, and there was improvement. I can generally, for the most part, see you better in these speeches than I was able to see in the first round. Continue to improve, continue to get better, continue to do what you need to do to succeed in this class. Remember, we're not trying to turn you into world-class speakers. We're only trying to turn you into somebody that when you speak with me, it's a conversation. It's not a speechification. It's not a lecture. And you're talking about things that are interesting. Let me just give you a heads up on the persuasion speech. Stay away from capital punishment and abortion. I'm fed up to here with those topics. Pick something else that's a little more interesting. And gosh knows there's a lot of stuff out there you can do. Have any questions, as always, give me a call in the office. Have a great one, and thank you all for your speeches this time. Much improved.